We are right in the heart of Europe, in the Alpine region. But today we're not travelling to one of the attractive major cities such as Munich, Lyon, Vienna, Milan, or the tourist magnet Salzburg. Instead, we're going to be visiting a smesto. Smesto is an invented word that stands for small or medium-sized town. One way to define an average smesto is as follows. It's situated roughly 35 kilometres from a major city. It's confronted with the problem that the big city is attractive and has pulling power. The smesto is home to around 15,000 people, many of whom are retired. The smestos all face similar challenges. Johannes faces these challenges too. His smesto is a mere stone's throw from the big city. Well, Johannes can throw a very long way. He has just taken over his parents' bookshop. The shop is in the centre of the smesto, between the old cinema, which shut down a long time ago, and the toy shop, whose owners closed it down years ago and now run a small business in the big city. Opposite Johannes' shop, there are 3 gaming centres, not exactly an optimum retail mix. Anyone wanting to buy branded goods around here is out of luck. They'll be sent straight to the big city. Johannes obviously wants his small business to be a success, so he's done the research about what sort of customers to expect. Clearly there are a lot of young people living in a smesto, and there are also large numbers of people over the age of 70. Johannes has therefore decided to specialise in large print books. He has also done plenty of advertising, but he still isn't getting many customers, so he has looked into the main reasons why. Many professional people don't shop at his bookshop because they earn their money in the big city and also do their shopping there. Not all smesto residents work in the big city, but the ones who do work in the smesto don't shop in the centre of town. Instead, they have to do their food shopping at the shopping centre on the edge of the smesto. They don't have long lunch breaks, and there isn't time to make a special trip into the centre of the smesto to buy a book, especially as there isn't much parking there. The lack of parking doesn't bother pensioners much, as they can come on foot, but not many of them come to the bookshop either. Why? You would realise why if you made the trip into the centre of the smesto yourself. For elderly people, the busy main road through the town, with heavy lorries rushing along it, is problematic. To give you an idea, during the day there's so much traffic noise that it's difficult for a pedestrian using a mobile phone to hear anything at all. Also, there aren't any buses which would make the journey home easier. In any case, aside from the bookshop, what used to be the town's main shopping street doesn't have much to attract elderly people. Pensioners don't tend to like spending their day playing gaming machines. The town centre doesn't have any food shops, and the post office was shut down completely 2 years ago. As a result of all this, business is not good for Johannes. So you may be wondering why he looks so cheerful. It's not his fault. He's in love. Her name is Clara, and she works behind the counter at a clothing shop in the big city, but she lives with Johannes in the smesto. Clara commutes 45 minutes into the big city every morning and 45 minutes back in the evening. Let's add that all up. Clara drives 90 minutes by car every day, commuting into the big city and back. That's 21,240 minutes a year. Or, to put it another way, 14 days and 18 hours. Commuting costs not just time, but money. 1 kilometre costs 42 euro cents. Commuting 70 kilometres costs Clara 29 euros 40 cents every day. That's nearly 7,000 euros a year. It's crazy. But Clara wouldn't be able to find a job working in a clothing store in the smesto. There aren't any clothing stores, as the young people who live in the smesto prefer to drive to the big city to shop. In fact, Clara herself does all her shopping there. It's fortunate that Clara is a good cook, as the choice of restaurants in the smesto is very limited. Aside from the 2 kebab shops, all there is an inn that hasn't been renovated since the 1970s. And because there aren't any stylish restaurants or bars and there's no theatre, there's a sense that in the evenings the smesto simply shuts down altogether. In German they say the pavement is taken up. For young people, a disaster. If you want to go out and have fun, well, you guessed it, you have to go to the big city. So, this is how things are in a semester. Large numbers of commuters, not much parking, poor retail mix, unattractive to young people, annoying through traffic. Many of the shops have closed down. An example of a semester where you might find Johannes living is Bad Vöslau near Vienna or Straßwalchen not far from Salzburg. In Europe as a whole, Johannes is by no means alone in his situation. In France, there are a number of Johanneses, who are of course called Jean. One of them lives in Neuville, which is, yes, a semester near Lyon. You'll find another Jean in Lure, near Montbéliard. In Slovenia, Johannes is called Janitz. He lives in Koper, near Trieste. The German Johannes goes by the name of Hansi and lives in a sort of double semester, namely Garmisch-Partenkirchen, not too far from Munich. The Italian Johannes is known as Giovanni. There's one living in Darfo Barrio Terme, a semester near Milan, a metropolis which also doesn't make things easy on the semester Voghera, where you'll find another Giovanni. You'll find a similar situation in any of Europe's semesters. Depressing. At this point, you'll definitely say what everyone says when several people are confronted with the same situation. A problem shared is a problem halved. Exactly. But there's a better way of putting it. Wouldn't it be great if everyone worked together to make the semesters flourish again, so that Clara wouldn't have to commute anymore and Johannes could run a successful small business? The magic words are, together we're strong. But this presupposes that Johannes, Giovanni, Janitz, Hansi and Jean are aware of each other. How do semester residents find out about each other? Yes, naturally you already know the answer. InnoCité. You're not watching this film by accident, but because you want to know, or because someone wants to make sure you know what InnoCité actually is. Okay, let's take a look. Don't worry, I'm not going to get bogged down in detail explaining that InnoCité is a European Union-financed Alpine region community project. I prefer to keep such things to myself. But let's take a look at what InnoCité does. InnoCité members study semesters and gather information about their problem areas. And because they're specialists, they're able to develop potential solutions and pass them on to the semesters. But that's not all. All semesters have residents who make improvements to their town themselves. InnoCité collects these ideas and compares and analyses them. This yields new ideas about how to make the semesters more attractive. In short, InnoCité is where large numbers of ideas meet, and when ideas come together, the result is inspiration, fertile ground for new ideas and innovation. InnoCité translates to innovation for small and medium-sized cities. If the semesters want to implement the innovations, InnoCité, of course, provides assistance. Take a look at some of the activities that have been initiated in this way. Quiet Garmisch-Partenkirchen is in the process of opening a medical further training centre. In Koper, they've become aware that they're blessed with a unique harbour promenade and are cleaning it up. In the model region around Vienna, young people have become energised. In Bad Vöslau, they're setting up a sophisticated water recreation area, and in Hollerbrunn, a young people's regional radio station is being set up. Austria's Plus region is also relying on young people. Students' designs are being implemented in Straßwalchen, where the small river, which used to be concreted over, is being opened up, bringing clean, clear water into the town to create an area where people can relax. In Neuville, an underground rubbish removal system has been set up. Rubbish gets deposited in cheerful-looking containers, which helps keep the streets clean. In Darfo Barrio Terme, dilapidated building frontages have been put in the hands of sponsors who smarten them up to make the place look more memorable. Great, huh? Presumably you're now hoping the InnoCité project has a long and fruitful existence. Actually, it won't. InnoCité has a further objective, to render itself obsolete. Over the past 3 years, InnoCité has successfully created a network of semesters. This means they'll stay in contact with each other on an ongoing basis, or as the politicians like to say, they will be sustainable. This will all go on directly, without InnoCité. If Johannes has a new idea, he'll speak to Giovanni, who'll call Jean, and so forth. They'll take care of things among themselves. Anyway, if I carry on any longer, you'll get fed up with InnoCité. They don't want me to tell the entire story. They just want me to drum up interest in this book. It's the InnoCité final report. It's, how shall I say, gripping might be the wrong word. Impressive, yes, it's impressive. An impressive several hundred-page volume.